Good morning all, welcome to Morning Outlook, and it's Kim Watson here as ever. So let's have a look at these markets. In fact, just before I look at the markets, news that's coming out today to be aware of. Inflation data from the US at 1:30. As much as it sort of people will be looking at it quite detailed, unless it comes out really low, I don't think we'll see anything significant happen. If it comes out higher than expected, it's very unlikely interest rates are going to be increased in any stage nearer, just because the inflation's popped up a little bit. They're now looking at employment again, seems to be the guide that we saw last time. So as I say, if it comes out a lot lower, that might just get people a bit more worried on the dollar and see a softer dollar. But the upside, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. Watch out for the volatility as ever around that sort of event. Aside of that, really, we're looking at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the evening for anything. We've got the Bank of England governor speaking at the Manor House dinner at 5 p.m. and then at 7 p.m. We've got Fed Chair Powell speaking. So they've got their opportunities to talk down their currencies or talk them up, whichever way they want to go. So there seems to be a lot of rhetoric towards talking currencies down at the moment, but the dollar seems to be softened, as we will see when we look at the technicals here. So let's start off looking at just 1 second. Let's just start looking at the euro dollar. So the euro dollar this morning, nice bounce off the daily 100 a few days ago there. What's it doing today? Well, at the moment it still looks like it's got some more fuel in the tank. Areas of resistance would be potentially the 100 to 34, the monthly pivot there, all sitting above there. In terms of resistance at the moment, it's a solid old move here, possibly a little bit too sort of steep in terms of its movement. Often when you see a market move like this, it'll either consolidate or have a little bit more retracement. Consolidation yesterday morning didn't last for too long, did it? What was it yesterday morning? It did pull back a while. There we are, just pulled back a little while, had a bit of retrace just after 8, and then off it flew. This morning, well, it's again, we've still got, I should imagine, divergences across these highs. We've had a few divergences across these highs. Untouched daily pivot is still below. That may be sufficient to just there we go. So may be sufficient just to cause a draw if it does start selling off there. So that's the euro. Pound. Okay, so the pound pushing up solidly at the moment. Let's just have a look at the lower time frame. So lower time frames again. Once again, it's sort of quite steep here. When you see a market going quite so steep, sometimes it will, as I say, just have a bit more of a correction. Again, we've got divergences across the highs here, daily pivot untouched below. Now, if you want to stay with the sort of main trends that we're seeing here, where it's just a patience game, just wait and see if it does sell off this morning. First thing, we saw it yesterday, we see it quite a bit, just a fake out sort of move effectively, and then the continuation of the trend. And with both of these, it may be just worthwhile hanging in there for the retrace towards the pivots. Dolly Yen, well, yen, solid old market. It's just come out onto dailies here, and it's rolled over pretty nicely yesterday. So it's one of the biggest moves we've seen for a long time on the yen there. Just moving back into the old territory here. Whether we'll see a continuation, well, let's see. It's into support, or near support, into its daily 21, just short of that actually. But again, just consolidation around the lows. May well see a continuation. And you look at all of this sort of time it's been sitting there in an hourly basis, and there's quite a lot of it. So maybe we'll see a rollover or continuation of this fairly soonish. So yen there, Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar pushing up quite nicely. Solid old moves. and well, may well see a continuation of that pushing up there. Again, it's well not quite so steep on some of these time frames here, but either way, well, it's already caught the daily pivot, had a bit of a retracement. Well, looks at the moment pretty solid. But if the others start rolling over, it will probably go with it to start with. It'll just be seeing a stronger dollar. But at the moment, the Aussie dollar is certainly the strongest of the pairings out there. Canadian dollar's also gained a bit against the US here. The US dollar stroke Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar strengthening as we see it pushing down. Just to remind you, it's again same old. It's just how far these would go. Well, goodness, at the moment they're having a decent old run. I would expect some retracement. So this is just literally flown off this morning. This Canadian dollar. Solid old lower highs, lower lows, retracements needed to for me certainly to be selling into these markets or buying into the other pairings. So but game of patience probably this morning. Look at a couple of cross pairs, Euro Yen here just on the shorter time frames. Well, in fact, let's just have a quick flick through here, see what it's doing. It's just quite choppy on the dailies. There are some opportunities, but it can just whip out in terms of either the alternative directions are probably not so good. Looking at the other majors that so often we get asked about, which is the Aussie Yen. Oops, let's press the right button here. Aussie Yen. Finally a few days ago breaking out of this sort of range here, and it's consolidated around this area, not really wanted. I mean, it's just that both currencies are doing quite well. So Aussie just slightly up on the yen or across the ball today. Actually, it's but a bit stifled where it is at the moment. The yen did have a good run yesterday. Aussie New Zealand dollars continued the ride to the upside here. There we go. Continued that push up there. It's now caught that monthly pivot. The way it's running at the moment, my money would still be on the upside on this. It's I was looking for opportunities to sell back into this after it pulled back over the last couple of weeks, but it's pushing up too strongly now. And when we're in these sort of markets where the dollar's being sold, the Aussie seems to get the best of it at the times. So there we are. Nothing there. What other pairs you're looking at? Euro Yen. I caught that already, I think, didn't I? Yeah, already looked at Euro Yen. Right, so outlook for the FTSE. I haven't got the FTSE on this particular chart, but I will look at the S&Ps. Similar sort of cases, mostly following along the same sort of path of continued upside. I will have to have a look on a different chart to catch hold of the FTSE, but I haven't got it on here. As I say, I don't. Oh, I've got. I beg your pardon. I can give you a. It's a slight bit delayed. It's about 15-minute delayed, 15-minute delayed chart, so I can look at the bigger picture here. What's happening with the FTSE and the dailies? A bit more stifled than obviously S&P's running into new highs all of the time, certainly. But the market actually it has really come out of sync a little bit there. In fact, looking at its 4-hourly, sort of bear flag territory was sitting in here on the break of that 200. It really would be quite bearish. But it's looks like it's trying to grind out with the high lows coming through in the shorter time frame, trying to grind out a bit of a bottom. It's very slow on the upside compared to say S&P's just can't do anything wrong, but much slower here on the FTSE. Okay, so let's get back to the S&Ps then. And once again this morning, the futures here torn into new high territory. How long can this last? Well, I wouldn't bet against it. I'll keep on saying it's going to have. Sure, it's going to have a correction at some time. Do you need to be first in? Well, probably not. Okay, so bit of a correction maybe even occurring as I'm looking at it at the moment. Other markets then we've seen S&Ps. Let's have a quick look at gold. So gold continue. This is hourly chart now. I'm just looking at this gold, but you see the continuation of the trend. As ever, with a weaker US dollar, we generally see gold pushing up. Gold didn't make it. It made a bit of a ham fist of it in the yesterday afternoon. There, selling off quite bitty, but recovering a little bit at the moment. But the overall upper high highs, high lows really just go with the fact of the softer dollar there. Silver picking up a little bit as well. Get the silver chart on there. Silver chart. Okay, again, solid sell-off there yesterday afternoon there, but it is still largely pushing up on the bigger time frames and pushing back towards that sort of $30 mark at the moment. Slower trend, it's probably more sustainable. Aside of that, then oil's again making new near-term highs. This morning it's not quite done it, but yesterday just carrying on pushing on this the basis of higher and higher. So as I say, at some stage I'm sure that we'll see more oil coming into the game. A lot of stocks are starting to reduce somewhat, and it's certainly helping the price of oil at this stage. Okay, that's pretty much that. Finally, we'll as ever finish off looking briefly at Bitcoin. There we go. Yesterday saw a continuation of the Musk effect, maybe the Tesla effect, as we've seen a continuation here, and it's where next? Well, 50,000. Why not? It certainly looks like it's heading that way. As I said, it should always be viewed as probably a longer term move, and that's certainly, as I say, really going well at the moment. Anyway, it's not a buy point I wouldn't suggest if you're thinking about just jumping in here personally. Right, that's it for today. I wish you a good day. Let's just check. Yep, Ripple. Sorry, let's have a look at Ripple. I can't bring it onto the chart. Raspberry Ripple, where are you? Yeah, Ripple's going up nicely. I can bring it in for our room members. Sorry, but it just won't flick over quick enough for YouTube. But yeah, pushing up nicely. Broken those prior highs there, at 52. Still got obviously a big spike in a way, but certainly moving quite nicely. Again, it's one of those long-term holds that for in my book. Right, on that basis, I wish you a great day, and I will catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.